so you all know. I am First Congressional District U.S. Representative DeGette. Sitting next to her is her opponent, Lilly.
Yeah.
In District 2, Jared Bolts. And his opponent, Scott Sterling.
Excuse me.
In District 6, we have Secretary of State Mike Hoffman. And his opponent, Hank Eng. And in District 7, we have Congressman Ed Polnar. And his opponent, John LaRue. Finally, while we recognize that our audience is comprised of people who represent a variety of political opinions, it is important that to ensure this evening's proceedings are enjoyable and informative for everyone, we do ask you to be courteous and respectful at all times, and we urge you to refrain from making any loud outbursts, either positive or negative, or from interrupting any speakers throughout the evening. Now that that's out of the way, let's begin. We're going to start with the international questions. Congresswoman, I believe first question comes to you, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Lilly, this question will come to you first. Iran's president has called for Israel to be wiped off the map, has denounced the United States as war criminals, and has denied that the Holocaust occurred. Assuming the failure of negotiations, and considering the fact that nuclear Iran threatens Israel's very existence, should the United States block Israel from trying to eliminate Iran's nuclear capabilities? Mr. Lilly?
Israel certainly should have every opportunity to defend itself from any kind of attack. I completely reject Iran's position. I also find it rather strange that we would go out of our way to do as much business as we do in the Middle East with the countries that are so opposed to Israel. And we shouldn't be giving money to them. We give money to the PLO, which funnels money in turn to Hamas. It doesn't make sense. Israel shares a common bond with the United States, and I think they deserve our support.
Congresswoman?
Thank you, Adam, and let me thank both the JCRC and the National Council of Jewish Women for sponsoring this event. I have always been firm that Israel is the one democracy and our true friend in the Middle East, and we need to do whatever we can to ensure that country's sovereignty and frankly, Iran is a threat to Israel's sovereignty and existence, and we need to know that. That's why in the last session I co-sponsored House Concurrent Resolution 362, which expresses the sense of Congress that Iran is a threat to international security and in particular to Israel. I also co-sponsored House Resolution 1400, which was sponsored by my dear friend, the late Tom Lantos, which would help prevent Iran from securing nuclear weapons. And most importantly, it would do this in a peaceful manner. It would ramp up sanctions against Iran, and it would limit U.S. exports and prohibit all imports from Iran. This is important legislation, and I hope it can help us support our friend Israel.
Our next question goes to the candidate from District 2, Mr. Stern. Due to the recent economic crisis, government expenditures will most probably be reduced. What effect will this have on the use of foreign aid as a tool